So, why is talking about sex important in the first place? It's actually taboo to talk about sex in most polite circles and polite conversations. We're not going to talk about sex, we're not going to talk about religion, and God forbid we're not talking about politics. And certainly, we wouldn't want to talk about how all of those things come together. So here's where we break taboos and talk about something that is really, really worth talking about. It's worth talking about because it shapes how we experience the world, our own personal health. It does touch on politics and religion and power and structures of how society is formed. So we're gonna talk about it. So get comfortable, unclench, get comfortable, take a breath, and let's dive into it. So, sex. This is an adult conversation meant for adult audiences. So if you are not an adult, please invite your parents to come and join in the conversation with you. It's worth having. I hope you all get to have conversations about sex. So most people, if they had sex education at all, it was terrible. It just taught you about the mechanics of sex, perhaps how not to catch disease or to become pregnant, but nothing else. Much of the education that is presented is biased. In fact, most states don't even require that sex education be medically accurate. That directly impacts your health. What you don't know can harm you, and what you don't know could get in the way of having some really healthy and happy relationships. So things that aren't included in sex ed often are things like communication skills, pleasure, how a body changes over time. So most bare bones sex education really only talks about puberty, as if that was the only time your body was going to change. Well, guess what? There's more. Certainly, if you've lived past a certain age, you will know that your body does change, like it or not, and that does impact your sexual health. It impacts your ability to engage in various sexual activities, how you might experience pleasure, and how you might even need to just relearn your body again. Additionally, bodies change over time, so the conversation should continue because there's a lot that isn't covered by our very restricted sex education. So let's dive into it some more. Sexual health. If you're a person who is not heterosexual, then how do you keep yourself safe from having any sort of adverse sexual encounter? If we don't talk about it, then you don't know. You don't know how to take precautions, what are your risks, and how you can mitigate risks. You don't know. And that harms people in very significant ways. Additionally, the harm that can occur is really, most centrally related to the self. So if you would alienate yourself from an essential part of who you are as a person, how can you extend care, love, compassion, and experience joy in yourself as you are? You can't. And that is a barrier that keeps you from being able to enjoy happy relationships with partners, with friends, with family. If there's a wall between you and the people you love, they can't love you, can't really see you, can't appreciate you. And that's isolating and very lonely. That's something that has physiological detriments, harm, illness, and it's not to be ignored. I think it's worth talking about. Then we have the harms of shame. So harm of shame not only corrodes how a person connects with themselves. Do you love yourself as you are? Do you feel like you should hide yourself? Do you feel like if people knew who you really are, if they would reject you or embrace you? Does that cause you to reject or embrace yourself? If you reject yourself, that's a barrier. It's a barrier for being able to appreciate other people in the world. It's no coincidence that the people who are so anti-gay oftentimes end up being gay themselves. Because you can't love another person or appreciate another person if you hate that which exists within you. Can't. That's a barrier. Talking about this isn't to perpetuate shame. It's actually to acknowledge the harm that may have been caused to you or people you love directly, inadvertently, covertly, or in ways that once were okay and now aren't. So to unpack that shame is to take a light, to look at it squarely, to do some reflection and to sit with it, and to find a way to invite compassion and love for yourself. If you can't love even yourself, there's no hope for you finding love or appreciation for humanity. It'll always be some lie that gets in the way. Lies aren't just what untruths or mistruths that you tell. It's what you don't say as well. It's what you omit, what you keep from others that keep them from knowing the truth. Those are all lies, and that's harmful. It corrodes the self. It corrodes your sense of connection, and that ripples outward. When politicians hate the people they are supposed to be serving, that not only harms the people, the citizens in that jurisdiction, that weakens the entire nation. You cannot abuse, oppress swaths of the nation and expect that it'll just be okay. You may be riding the tide now, but it won't last. It just can't. You can't survive on that. So whether you realize it or not, regardless of how you vote, hate harms everyone. Even the people who vote for hate. Even the people who believe in it will find that it harms them too. This is another reason why we should be talking about sex. To pull it out of the darkness so that it can actually be something that connects us through our shared being. Most people are sexual. If you're not asexual, then you probably feel some amount of drive or inclination throughout your day. Even if you are an asexual person, that doesn't exclude you either. So this is important for every human being, majority anyway. It can't be ignored. Oh, and people find out secrets don't lie in the dark forever. It's best to just be out. It's best to be honest. It's best to love yourself and others. We can do better. We have to do better. So I'm taking the time to make this video so that you understand why. What is the motivation for talking about something that makes people uncomfortable? Why am I talking about things that people would rather not? They'd rather hide. No executive order is going to erase the existence of people. It will not erase the humanity. It can't. So if you want to make this world, your world, a better place, let's start with love. We'll start with loving yourself, and hopefully, maybe that will ripple outward. I hope so. Thanks.